But for me, I find that like that can psych me out. So I feel like I'm much better at racing against myself than than racing against other people. When I start to like compare myself to other people, it's like comparison is the thief of joy. Like there's always going to be more people who are better than me than who are not as good as me. So if I'm able to improve my own speeds and my own times and stay in my own lane, that's where I'm going to see like the maximum benefit. And I also like kind of I'm actually not big on Strava. I actually disconnected my Strava when I got pregnant because I was like, I don't want people to know I'm pregnant because I was running like ridiculously slow kilometers and ridiculously short. I was
And
like,
then you
people are
have the
going to be
likes of me
off
and
me.
Sean, they're like, we would never put them two together. Oh,
No.
an extra minute a kilometer. She's definitely pregnant.
And also nobody cares. That's another thing. And it's a piece of advice I give to people when they're like doing the marathon. Like again, it's amazing to have goals. It's amazing to be like, reaching for something, trying to improve yourself in whatever way that is, like whether it's running or whatever it is, or a new hobby. But nobody cares other than you. Do you know what I mean? Like no one's going like, did you see Eric didn't run his 10K as fast? Like, people don't do that. People are only thinking about themselves. So I think, and to get back to the actual question about the watch, for me, I just find it easier to like tag a pacer, right? Like I'm not looking at my heart rate. I'd be the type that if I saw a 180, I'd be like, oh yeah, gonna have a heart attack, so need to actually slow down. Whereas what I don't know won't hinder my performance. I can just keep pushing, keep pushing, keep pushing. I remember me and my partner did hill sprints in Portugal, and we had like been like we I don't think we had drank the day before, but we were on like a holiday where we were having a few drinks and stuff. And my watch started buzzing because it went like above 200. And I was like, oh no, Sean. I was like, I don't feel good. I was like, I actually really this. No, I think I've taken this too far. Like, honestly convinced myself I was having a heart attack. I obviously wasn't. So, again, it's your relationship with it. And if you can have a healthy one with it, great. But recognizing when your ego is kind of getting in the way, which mine definitely does.
I've had moments where I've felt like I'm about to have a heart attack, and I'm like, oh, I am really like this is bad. And then and only then do I look at the watch and go, oh yeah, yeah, no, it is. I'm so I use it kind of as a check of
Yeah.
how do I feel? Does that line up with what I'm doing? Does this feel like a 5 minute pace? Does that line up what I'm doing? And I think that's probably what people should be using devices for. Like I think of it, I don't know what you think of it. I think of me as an experiment. And as you said, it's all just about you and comparing about you. Yes, me and Sean might be competitive and slag and stuff, but Sean is doing his experiment and I'm doing mine. The experiment is totally different because Sean will eat different to what I will eat. Sean likes what I don't like.
Mhm.
But at the end of the day, at some point in our careers of running, the experiment will come to an end. And that's why I think it took me a little bit to mature. But this year, even through the summer, I'm telling people I'm walking mostly because the heat and this and that and being realistic. And it is embarrassing. But then part of it is documenting what was it like to start training for a marathon in a desert environment with temperatures of up to 50 degrees. And those times and those like realities are part of your experiment. It's part of understanding when you're tired, when you're pregnant, if you're running a minute slower, all of these different things. I suppose is it took me many years to figure out that it doesn't really matter what everyone else is doing. Yes, I'd like to be as fast as them, but I'm on my own experiment and trialing things and picking up bits and pieces from other expert scientists like yourself coming onto our show and giving us the nuggets. And I think if people start looking at it like that, they can really start to just appreciate what they do is for them and for them only, and where they get in a week's time or a year's time. That's a sign of what happened during your last year and who you were and what you did. Does that make sense? Or is that a good way
Yeah.
of thinking of it?
And I think as well, like as humans, we're really good at looking forward and not so good at looking back. So like what I love about training people, and it's so funny because like even though everyone's so individual, everyone's so the same in so many ways as well, we forget how far we've come.